legitimacy to cancel the election. So I remember, when I got elected, actually, on all the official, the university's 公文 official document all say is the quotation, quote unquote, the student, the president of the student body. They don't want to, legalize my status. Only after the Wild Lily movement. So actually, the Wild Lily movement gives me the legitimacy later on. They start to call me the president of the student body. Okay. Yeah. So actually, and later on, so when I become the first president of the Taida student party, my platform is to, to let the student, get involved in the Taiwanese politics, because the students should become part of the society. So we should not, separate it from the Taiwanese real politics. So my goal is not only to, have a democratic campus. We also want to get students, familiar with all the social issues and the political issues at that time. So for me, to have a real Congress representing Chinese people is the single most important issue at that time. So actually, for us, it's not an accident. We want to mobilize the students to get familiar with the so-called democracy issue of Taiwan. At that time, 国会全面改选, to have a real Congress representing Chinese people is the single most important issue at that time. We just didn't know that actually we will get succeed. Because at that time, the so-called main political movement was led by the DPP, by the opposition party at that time. But my explanation is that because in 1990, if you know the Taiwanese history, President Lee Teng-hui was re-elected as the first Taiwanese president. So for the opposition party, they have the ethnic complex. They are kind of afraid that Lee Teng-hui might not be able to get elected as the president, because another old-fashioned within the KMT. But for us, the question is not whether he's a Taiwanese or non-Taiwanese or the mainlander. For us, we want the election, direct. We want the real president, get elected by the real Congress. So for us, we just, gathered in the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. So actually, there are at its peak time, there are about like 6,000 students there. But of course, there are even more, students, like 20,000 students, surrounded. The students were surrounded by all the supportive students. So actually, that's quite an event during that time. So I would say that the meaning of that Wild Lily movement, I would say that, for us, we sort of, claim that democracy means Taiwan for Taiwan itself. Because we try to, tell people actually democracy is that something we can have. So democracy means Taiwan for Taiwan itself. You can tell by the symbol, the wild lily. When students were thinking about they want to have a symbol to symbolize the movement, the first condition the student has a consensus that it has to be something authentic Taiwanese. Because, the 1 year before there's a June 4th, 6.4 Tiananmen event happened in China. They used the Statue of Liberty to symbolize the students' movement. We thought that's a very American. We want something very Taiwanese, okay, for our own movement, actually. So, and actually, this is the first student mass movement in Taiwan's post-war history, okay. And I would say that, this movement is quite important because it is a new generation of democracy awakened. So for those, people who are above or below my age, they will always claim that they were awakened by that Wild Lily movement. Because they were either get involved, become part of one of the participants, or they read the news on the newspaper and they feel inspired by that. Okay. So this is some picture I took, actually later on the President Lee Teng-hui, after he got elected by the whole Congress, he decided to meet the students and to agree with what our request. And you can see that the photo that actually the students were raising hands to decide whether we need to give President Lee Teng-hui a chance Because at that time we were under the pressure, Li Denghui also gave us some, for us, just some oral promise. We were not sure that whether he will carry out his promise or not. But we decided that we have to give him a chance because we might lose the legitimacy if we continue to, sit in the Zhang Guoxun Memorial Hall. So that's all the stuff, after the student decide to leave the square. So actually, now I'm going to talk about the symbol of the wild lily. So the reason that the students agreed to use the wild lily as the symbol of the movement because they feel that the wild lily can represent something they feel quite important. The first of it is the Aboriginal, it's Taiwanese, 非常的本土, is a localized symbol because that's one of the authentic Taiwanese plant. Actually, it's not the international type of the plant, so we thought it's a native Taiwanese. Okay. And also, the flower was blossomed in March. Actually, the wild lily movement was happening in March. So March means actually youth of the springtime and the youth of one's life. And actually, the wild lilies was say that it's very grassroots. You can see that in the mountain and also on the plain when the wild lily. A long time ago in Taiwan history. So we say it represents the student movement should have some grassroots. And also, actually, it's also an official symbol of the one Taiwanese Aboriginal people, Lu Kai Zu. And it symbolizes honor for the Lu Kai Zu's men if they can, successfully do some hunting. So we think that it also symbolizes honor, because participating in the student movement should be an honor instead of a taboo. Okay. So after the wild lily, I'm going to talk about its legacy and the questions and answer. I would say that actually one of the most important legacy of the wild lily is that the wild lily movement established the legitimacy of student movement. Before the wild lily movement, actually in the Taiwan history, the KMT regime always say that actually the reason that they were defeated by the Communist Party, part of it is that because the student movement were standing with the Communist Party. Because the Xuecao, they lost the mainland China to the PRC. So actually, usually, all the people don't support the student movement. They say it's too dangerous for the whole country. But after the wild lily movement successfully met with President Lee, and he promised some democratic reform, people start to consider student movement can be beneficial to the whole society. And just as Karis mentioned that the later young students, they will also want to pursue an honor that actually student movement can be very positive, can contribute to the Taiwan history in a very positive way. Okay, so I would say it established the legacy of the student movement. You can see from the later student protester, they always want to have some seat in the Zhang Guoxun Memorial Hall. It means that they try to pursue the same dream that the student can contribute to the Taiwan's history. Okay. And for us, there are some question and answer. Does democracy equals election? Actually, when we talk about democracy at that time, we only talk about the direct election or election, be held freely. We never talk about some, other things that. But later on, we feel that actually the democracy is still quite rough. We should talk about other dimensions of democracy, like later on the deliberation democracy or this kind of thing, some procedure justice. That's the issue we never think about at that time. And actually. As I say that, although we say that Taiwan should be Taiwanese people's Taiwan, should be, the purpose for itself, but actually the question whether Taiwan is a nation is still left unanswered. You can tell from the some thing that actually after we left the Zhang Guoxun Memorial Square, all the activists we say that we are going to have our own alliance, and we call it, but we cannot decide whether the alliance should be called Taiwanese Students Alliance or Chinese Students Alliance. We were kind of in a deadlock, but later on there are some students they are kind kind of wide. They say we should just call it National Students Alliance. And people can say it's if you are a Taiwanese, you can say it's Taiwanese. If you think yourself as Chinese, then you can say that the 全国 means China. Okay, so you can see that in that time we still cannot solve the issue that about the Taiwan's future, because actually there are some student protesters. They are they consider themselves Chinese. I do remember that during the protest, because students will go on the stage to sing songs. There's one student, he went on the stage. He said he's going to sing the song "龙的传人." How to translate that? Anyway, people of dragon, or that, something like that. Because why the reason that he's going to sing the people of dragon, because he thinks why all the songs standing are some Chinese dialect. So he want to have a song called the Dragon of the People of Dragon. But he was yelled by the student protest there. That's not the song we are going to hear. And I was the chief conductor there. I think it's kind of not okay for us to have a dispute at that time. It might divide the students. So I just go to tell that the reason that he was asked to step down is not because the song, the ideology of the song, because we don't want to have quarrels during the performance. So we will ask him to come back later if he is willing to sing a song that without any opposition at that time. So you can see that for us actually that's the question. We don't feel free to talk about during that protest. Okay, but later on that the students getting the answer later. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm just talk about the influence, but after that, White Lily movement, I become some like a national, how to say that, the symbol for that single movement. So it became famous at that time. That's the famous magazine at that time, 新新闻, the new journalism. The title of that report says there's a girl named Fan Yun. So it's kind of suddenly become famous. Although I was famous on campus, but I didn't know the difference. So the new reporters even went to visit my hometown, to ask my father, what do you think about your daughter? My father is an old veteran, for the KMT's military. The service, so people think it's a big contrast. Why the daughter of the veteran, will stand in the frontier in this movement. Okay. Now, but for me, I just cannot understand, how come the movement succeed. Because we didn't expect the movement to succeed. We just think that we have to protest to voice out our students' voice. But we didn't know that it will get the media attention widely, and then there are so many students we never know they came to join our sit-in within the 1 week. So I just want to, I think now I've become the symbol of that movement. I should understand the movement better. Okay. So then I conduct research with some of my friends. We organized a team to do to study the movement. So we interviewed more than 50 activists from all different kind of campers. They all got involved in the movement, and we understand that actually the reason that the movement got succeed because it has accumulated 10 years of the student activism. From the early 1980s. So actually the success, it has been accumulating a lot of energy resources network. Okay. Then we published a book. If you are interested, actually maybe some library might have the book. And we published 2 books. One is the Taiwan Student Movement, the history of Taiwan Student Movement, 1980s. Another is the self-pursuit, or the identity of self-pursuit of the new generation in Taiwan. About all the important student documents during the 10 years. Okay. So I started to feel interested in doing research because I feel that I was asked all kinds of important questions about Taiwan, but actually I cannot answer them properly. I think I should go to pursue some deeper study about the Taiwan's question. So then, I got a master's degree at Taida, majoring in sociology. And later on, I decided I got a fellowship to go to Yale. So I started 6 years at Yale to pursue my PhD in sociology. So I would say that actually that's my intellectual rite of passage. What I learned at Yale, I would say that the first thing is that